My name is Elijah Elk Gallagher. I play on the Overwatch team here, Harrisburg Storm, at Harrisburg University, and I'm a junior.
Elk, though, is trying to take things into his own hands as he picks up 2 kills. How is this man not on the USA World Cup
It's
team?
really important, but there's a couple key things we have to execute to actually win this fight. So if you notice here,
From Envision falling will allow Fusion University to capture out second and move on, but at this point,
roles and what suits you best. So like, I think that for like mice and keyboards, with Overwatch League being here in Burbank and contender teams getting team houses here.
Bomb out from Zachary, doesn't connect. Who are you goes in, Blade out, gets Vol. I think the bomb was actually in Vol.
My game and give it back to him.
Oh, so you'd take the hit to the SR?
Yeah.
Oh, my story will make a lot of parents upset. Is that fine?
That's fine. We'll cut it if we need.
Okay, cool. So I got into gaming when at 3, my dad thought it would be fun for me to learn how to play Diablo 2 and Doom 1, which are both pretty violent games. But to be honest, I loved them. I've never shot anybody, obviously. And that was really my intro into gaming, was playing Diablo 2 and Doom 1 at 3 on my dad's lap. Great story.
My mom hated that.
She did. My mom hated it too. Yeah, so I really got into Overwatch at release. My family kind of as a whole played a lot of Blizzard games. Obviously Diablo 2 was released by Blizzard way back when. And when Overwatch 2 came out, I had a laptop that wasn't really able to run it, but my dad had a work laptop that was. And eventually I convinced him, let me borrow your work laptop when you're not working. I'll play Overwatch on it, it'll be so great. And I actually did that for a few years until I ended up going pro, buying my own equipment with money I had earned from playing professionally already. So I started playing professionally in, like tier 4, tier 5 teams, really just in the competitive Overwatch Discord, looking for teams and looking to try out for teams, generally GM plus teams, because in season 1 and season 2, I was a pretty high rated player. From there was a coach who was in one of the trials who liked me, brought me over to his team, and then that team, over the course of about 6 months to a year, morphed and got signed by Evil Geniuses. Played under the Evil Geniuses brand for, I want to say, only a few months until the team didn't really see how they were going to transition to Overwatch League, and pretty much every player sought new opportunities. I got an offer to go play for a Thai team in Thailand called Mega. I played with Mega for a while in Thailand and Taiwan for probably about 9 months. I lived over there. Came back to the States after leaving the team. The general manager of Fusion approached me, who was Kirby, and he said, hey, we're putting together a university team. Are you interested at all to try out? They told me obviously they had Who Are You coming on, which is this amazing Genji player everyone had seen the highlights of. I joined them. We had an unbelievably dominant run. We won contenders 3 times in a row with no match losses. Then from there they offered to promote me to the main team. I signed that contract. I was on their roster for the 2019 season. I want to say 2019 season. And then after that season, I was kind of at a point, I was 20. I was trying to reevaluate what I was looking for in life, especially if that meant higher education. And I just made a tweet. I said, hey, what collegiate programs are out there? What do they offer me? And Harrisburg reached out, and they're within driving distance of my house. I mean, 4 hours isn't super close, but drove down here with my mom, met the staff, met the faculty. Seemed like a really great program, and yeah, here we are. I definitely think the biggest change when you go from being a professional player to a collegiate player is your responsibilities shift a pretty big amount. When you're a professional player, you really have one thing in your job description, and that is perform with your team at the event. When you're a collegiate player, you obviously have classes and you obviously have GPA requirements. So making sure you're in good standing with the school, making sure you're learning in your classes and actually pursuing your degree effectively and performing well definitely adds a lot more to your plate. But because collegiate is, in a sense, less competitive than that top tier of the gameplay that you see in Overwatch League or other events, you're allowed to take some time off from the game and focus on other things. For me personally, that's been a good change because once you've played a game every day of your life for 5 years, you appreciate having other things to focus on and other things you can do.
Yeah, so Elk, again, he's one of the veterans on this team, both in terms of, he's been here for a long time now, but he also has a lot of competitive experience that, to be honest, no one else on the team does. And that's super valuable for us. I remember a couple of years ago when we were going to our championship match, Elk, he was the person who would calm the team down and be like, okay guys, we got this, let's focus up, this is what we need to do. So as a coach, having a player who can kind of step into that role is huge, because it really, when that kind of message is conveyed by a coach, it's very different from when it's conveyed by a player, because a player is somebody who's in the match with your team. And I think when one of your teammates is telling you guys, like, okay guys, we got this, this is what we need to do, it really calms people down a lot, and that's a huge asset for us in those matches. And again, looking back to that championship win, I think that was, a really big turning point for us, and something that really had a big impact and led us to that victory.
I am graduating probably in about a year and a half, 3 to 4 more semesters, depending on how many credits I take. My plans after school are definitely not esports related. I noticed pretty early on that when you see professional players retire, they really only go one of 2 ways if they stay in esports. They either go the content side, or they go the personality/organization side, meaning like kind of what Custa does right now for the Overwatch League. And neither of those options really appeal to me. So obviously I've done at least one internship here as part of my degree so far at HU, and CS has been really appealing to me. Coding is really fun to me, especially stuff involving AI. So I definitely want to pursue a career path in that direction. I'm not yet sure if I want to get a master's in something machine learning adjacent. I very well might before I actually go to the private sector. But yeah, I definitely plan to distance myself, at least as a player, from esports. Favorite color? Oh, it's definitely black or gray, because I can get them dirty and wash them less frequently and no one can know. It's great. Yeah.